Hi, welcome back to All Things Y'all. I'm Crystal. Today I'm going to explain to you guys what demigods are and how you may be partaking in idolizing and worshiping these ones and keeping their history alive. Pretty much, in short, these are the ones that we know today as Zeus and Odin, Hercules, Poseidon, Kronos, the god of war, the Transformers, Superman, um, I don't know if I said Hulk, Batman, Spider Man, and every year their stories are put out on the movie screen. Same story, same history, just revamped and put on the screens for you guys to go out and buy a ticket, um, keep the history alive, and yeah, let's kind of get into it. Of course, this goes back to history. Um, in the heavens, I spoke about Satan, and he had 600 angels that fell with him in the heavens. Pretty much when they were in heaven, they felt that God was not running his kingdom and his creation how they felt it should be ran. And they also desired to be kings of themselves, or gods, so to speak, of themselves. And they wanted their own kingdom, and they wanted to run things how they wanted to run them. And it got so out of control to where they lost their positions in heaven. God kicked them out of the heavens onto the earth. And this spirit and this desire of still wanting a kingdom and still wanting to be idolized and looked at as gods uh, stayed with them. So as mankind started to grow here on the earth, they started to possess mankind as well as animals. And it had gotten so bad to the point to where God had to send a flood. And that's where you hear about the flood of Noah, Noah building the ark, and God had to put an end because the possession and the spirit of what the angels, the fallen angels, these quote unquote demigods, were running so rampant onto the earth to where God had to have them all killed off. Um, they start to mix with mankind and start to have impregnate the women, and they had hybrids, what were called quote unquote, um, what are they? Nephilims is what the scriptures call them. And so, yeah, the way that their history is kept alive is that first it kind of originated with the old folk tale stories about the Thors and the Odins and the Poseidons, and how they were gods of certain things. It gotten so bad to certain kings and queens when they came into power, they had idols of these particular gods. And as time modernized, it went from being folk tales to going on to being in the newspaper articles, and then it went on to being into comic books, and later on to the TV screens. And again, as time start to modernize even more, it goes on to being on video games. And then now, every so many years, they make movies again about the Thors and the Hulks and Superman and Batman and Spider Man. And yeah, that's what these characters are depicted as. And that's why their stories are retold over and over again. I think even now with the video games, they have backstories to where you can become more well versed and well knowledgeable about them. These type of things are put into place so that you can continue to worship them. And these movies come out to where you can go out and buy memorabilia, posters, whatever that it is to keep their stories alive. Of course, in their true essence, you'll never be able to get to see what they look like in their true essence because, like again, I said, their light was removed from them. So they're actually hideous creatures, but they're depicted on the big screens as being superheroes. But in their essence, they hate mankind. And a really good story that you can kind of get a good idea of these creatures is I believe the story is Transformers. Yeah, I believe Transformers have a depiction of what is called the Decepticons against Optimus Prime and the Autobots, I think it is. But yeah, this story tells a really good depiction of them. In the scriptures in the book of Enoch, God talks about the characteristics of these certain angels that were kicked out of heaven and what type of powers they possess, how they possessed mankind, and the different tactics and different things that they used to be able to tear down mankind. And so when the flood came, God pretty much locked a good sum of them up into the pits of hell, but a 10% of them still ran rampant on the earth, and that's who we deal with today. A good 10% of these ones that are still here running rampant on the earth. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain to you these ones that you guys are looking at as demigods or video game characters, or to our children, what are known as superheroes. I think people go to Comic Con and different things to keep these stories alive. These are in fact, stories of the fallen angels and how they came to be and how their history came to be here on the earth. A lot of these characters, if you really look at them in their essence, they are characters that, like Superman's and the Hulks and Thor and all these different ones, they're able to run to and from off the earth. That is a history of Satan. Satan was an angel that never stayed close to God. When he was given his position in heaven, he was one that always went about roving about to and from on the earth. And so when you hear about these Thors and Hulks and Supermans and things like that, they are also of the essence of the ones that can go to and from the earth, back up to heaven, back down on the earth, to contend and I guess intermediate with mankind. As far as the female version of like these Disney characters, you have the ones like Snow White, Cinderella, I think Beauty and the Beast, and Little Mermaid. If you look at the origin stories of that, a lot of these female characters, they are manipulated in some type of way. They end up getting their powers or being able to have something given to them that comes with a cost. And this is the story of what Satan did to Eve, how he manipulated Eve into losing her position, and then going on to manipulate in her husband and causing her husband to lose his position. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope that this has been of benefit. The story in which you can find the characteristics and how these angels fell is found in the book of Enoch. And you guys have a good day. Bye.